Hey everybody, I'm back, and I'm just excited to share this video with you of the paintings I was making in 2016 and leading up to my solo show, Beyond Shadows, at KP Projects Gallery. Each year I write an artist statement to encapsulate the work I've created, and I'd like to read that to you right now. Do you remember the first time you saw a giraffe? It was your first trip to a zoo, and it couldn't compare to the books and TV animal shows. It was a real thing. Flocks of flamingos, monkeys swinging around their cages, snoozing lions, hippos, tigers, and bears. And then you walked up to the giraffe enclosure. For some reason, you were able to get a bit closer to these storied creatures at the zoo. They're the largest creatures in the zoo, and yet they hold a little threat. So as you sat on your father's shoulders, one slowly wandered up close and investigated the little face and hands reaching out earnestly towards it. That excitement and that feeling of seeing this phenomenal creature for the first time is what has sparked so much of my creative juices over the many years I've been drawing and making art. What other firsts are there to witness? Are there creatures unseen by the world, just inside the imagination, that I can share and that can become amazing firsts for someone else? I feel like it is my duty to carefully render the ideas that dance out in my sketchbooks and journals. It's like they deserve a life of their own, perhaps a story and a world to live in as well. Enter the rabbit hole in the wardrobe, get swept away in a tornado or some fairy dust as you are off to Never Never Land in Oz. These wonderful creatures now have a home, and it only feels appropriate to call it the outside, as it is outside of our world. Things that exist only in our imaginations make sense there. Knights on a mission, ride on the backs of enormous blue jays. Fish guide the way as they fly alongside geese and owls. It is dangerous there too, and important to make friends and try to fit in. The hidden clues and notes from others find their way to you in the forms of letters, striped gift boxes, and keys. Making art has always been a fluid extension of who I am, a spillover mishmash of the noise inside my head. I do it mainly for myself to see exactly what these things would look like and have them take up residence in a real space in our world. Many people make art for many reasons, but like fingerprints, each person's creations have a uniqueness to themselves that identify in part who they are. I fearfully look at some of my paintings and wonder, what does that say about me? This drawing here is of Richard Adams, who wrote Watership Down. I always wanted to do a portrait of him. So back to this conversation about firsts. I don't know, like a lot of people don't understand my work and always question it, like, why are you drawing that? Why do you paint that? And first thing I always say to them is, have you ever seen that before? And it's usually no, or I've seen portions of it, but not like that. It's exciting for me to just create something brand new that's never been there before. Here's a blank canvas, and look at this. Now it's a lemon octopus. That's something you might not never have thought about, but I have, and I feel like it's my duty to get it out there in the world and share this creature with you. People are always asking me about techniques and how to do the paintings, and a lot of the times I feel like I'm just struggling through each painting, figuring it out as I go every time I start a new painting. I don't have it all figured out. I'm making mistakes and fixing them as I go, and hopefully learning something for the next painting. Yes, I am a bit obsessed with octopi or octopuses or octopuses, whatever you want to call them. I love flipping them into different kinds of creatures and enjoy being able to exploit that just by drawing them and painting them. They're awesome creatures in real life, so being able to paint them is exciting as well. This painting immediately struck a chord and an idea that led into this next painting. Here's a tip. When painting large red areas, paint the section you want red with a warm, neutral mid-tone gray first. You can use your expensive reds on it afterwards as washes, but this will get you the value you want of the red, and you won't be wasting all that expensive paint. I began to get really interested in these hat boxes and what kind of purpose they could serve. They're like gifts being passed around the outside, much like the letters and the notes. So I started thinking, what other things can be passed around in these hat boxes? So I started experimenting with more of these paintings and what's in the box was pretty much what was going on in my head. What kind of creature, what kind of story do they have? And what's a pirate captain without his trusty parrot? Somebody out there was asking me how to paint feathers and to do a tutorial on painting feathers. Here's kind of how you paint feathers. I don't know. One thing you should do is have really good reference around. Try to find as much as you can of the type of birds you want to paint, and pay attention. Pay attention to the shadows. Pay attention to highlights. Pay attention to form and shape before all the little details. Save the details to the end. Over the years, I've gotten interested in doing larger scale monochromatic work with charcoals. And charcoals are just a great medium. My buddy Sergio Sanchez, who's an amazing artist and an amazing teacher, sat down and gave me some good pointers on charcoals years ago, and I've been hooked on them ever since. So each year I try to do a few charcoal pieces for my shows. This next piece was inspired by my rambunctious little boys, and how sometimes kids don't think about what they're doing. They just go out there to have fun, and sometimes there's consequences. And that's why this piece is called the Glass Piñata. The idea is, when you look at the painting, all the boys are barefoot, climbing on trees, playing, about to knock down this glass piñata, which will in turn, when they run to get the candy, hurt their feet. And the idea of this girl on the wall is that she knew it was going to happen the whole time. She has boots on, but she's still not foolish enough to go over there. And on the wall it says, "I told you so." A lot of times my son, Isaac, or Everett, they'll sit and pose for me so I can get some of the expressions down in the characters. I know they're not perfect. They don't look exactly like the kids, but it sure does help a lot. There's some reference gathered. It's always weird looking back at all these old pieces and the drawings and sketches and where my mind was at the time. It's really fun to go back over these old pencil drawings too. I love just sitting at night with the pad of paper, my pencils with me, and just work out ideas. It's Nick Time and Matthew Midnight. You'll see Nick Time in a different piece. Sometimes I'll render out a character in pencil and then paint him later. this same year, I was given the opportunity to paint for all 3 of the gallery spaces at KP Projects and Launch Gallery. And for the smaller downstairs gallery, I thought it'd be fun to paint my character Stabby, and I put together a bunch of pieces of him. I kick myself to this day for not filming this piece, Beyond Shadows. It's by far one of my more favorite pieces, and it took me years to paint. I was working on the background a little bit at a time. Underneath all that, I was spray painting my name over and over again for years. I would just get out tension, get in the studio, and add to it, and then layer it up, layer it up, layer it up. Until finally I got the piece to my new home studio and decided to paint this sketch onto it. This piece was a real labor of love. Each detailed, intricate part kind of spoke back to previous pieces, like the balcony and the bird. The bird's name is Breeze, by the way. I really love painting pieces this size. You can just really get into them. Pack in the detail, all the colors. Here are some photos my friend Birdman took of the event itself. Crayola Beyond Shadows at KP Projects Gallery in Los Angeles. I'm beyond honored to the friends, family, artists that come out to my shows. It's always such a good time to get to talk with these people and share stories and to reconnect. I'm always locked in my studio, so it's good to get out. This right here is Gregg Escalante. And sadly, he's no longer with us. He's very dearly missed by all of us in this pop surrealism scene, and he's responsible for a lot of our careers. You should take some time and look him up. Gregg Escalante, Juxtapose Magazine. He's a great man. So that night, I also was able to do the launch gallery upstairs, and I decided to do some of my more abstract graffiti inspired works. They're called drip scripts, and I've been, as many of you know, writing graffiti since 1992, so I just wanted to do an extension of what those hand styles and letters would look like if they were built up in 3 dimensions with the paint drying on top of each other. And yes, absolutely, it was a messy job making these pieces, but I enjoyed it immensely. There are so many things you can do with painting and art, and it'd be a shame to not explore any ideas you might have. So in the behind the scenes to all of this work, there are some little bandits that always seem to pop up and give me a hard time, but keep me inspired every single day. Through the rough times of being a parent to the fun times of bedtime stories and playing catch and riding skateboards. I owe a lot to my dad, who taught me how to be a parent. And now I make my kids do my drawings for me, so I don't have to. And this one right here, I just thank God for her every single day. Thank you so much for all you do for us, Jenn.
Whoa! Whoa! Mom, Daddy, I don't have this. Keep looking.
This kid scares the hell out of me. If there's a tree, he's up in it, no matter what. Expecto Patronum. In 2016, this kid wanted to start surfing, and he had the best coach on the planet, Alex Gray. Inspiration is everywhere. Completely stoked and honored that my little lemon fella here became the cover of High Fructose magazine, which is a really great magazine for this scene. You guys should check it out. My buddy Brent Broza photographs a lot of my work, and he got that inside cover. Just a drawing turning into a painting I did for some dear friends of their dog Piglet. Sometimes it's fun to put people's pets into the outside. It makes complete sense, and when the opportunity comes up and it seems right, I really do love painting people's pets. This was also the year I took Isaac to see his first punk show. We saw face to face at a friend's venue, and it was such a good time. And we got to meet Scott Shiflett at the end, and he gave Isaac a guitar pick. Isaac plays guitar also, so he was really stoked about that. Then we were off to Seattle, where I saw some of my Pearl Jam posters in the lobby at the airport. We went to the zoo while we were in Seattle, and I definitely get inspired every time I go to a place like this. Wildlife center, zoos, parks, pet stores, anything that has animals. I've always been a bird nerd and obsessed with creatures, so this place was perfect. And this guy right here, he was inspiration for the following year's big piece in my show. I did a painting called Try to Fit In, based off of this guy. Oh, there's that 10 seconds of footage I actually took. I don't know why I didn't film more during that piece. I hope you guys enjoyed this recap of 2016, and yeah, stick around for the next one. I might do 2008 or some other random year. I'm not going to do these in order because that's not fun. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great one.
Say it nicely, not so loud. What's your wish?
For Mommy's kisses.
Now throw your penny. You think your wish will come true?